Hello, it is me. Hi guys. The vibes today are so freaking chill. I'm curious if anybody else is feeling that, like, relaxing energy. I don't know, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Hello, Nikki. Hi guys. Hi. Very chill. I'm like, what in the world? I just reheated my coffee for the like 7th time. Ah, drop some. Washing out hair dye. You can't take me in the shower with you? What? Just kidding. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Welcome. I feel like, I don't know. I feel okay. Welcome. I feel different. So, unless I feel different. I feel good. I feel, what is the feeling? Reborn? Fresh? Enlivened? It's good. I feel like the integration of this full moon, like the just like waning energy from this Aquarius full moon that we had, is very quiet, right? I've noticed just like with witnessing trends, witnessing people, especially in community space, like just like the gentle slowing of things. It's so interesting to just watch the build up. I was actually talking to my landlord's dad about this, of because when he asked me what I did for work, because I don't really disclose to people what I do, and so I was like, I'm a professional astrologer. That's like the main thing that I do. And he's like, there is something to that. Like, usually when things are kind of weird and crazy, I think like it must be a full moon. He's like the last, like there must be a full moon like that had happened. And I was like, yeah, there was. Warning, keep your live engaging. What in the heck? My camera is. TikTok just gave me a warning. It said, hey, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Cattail? Okay, lay down, buddy. Get cozy. Get in here. My TikTok people, hello? Do a backflip. Ah. What if I just showed a boy? Look. Yeah. TikTok is just so weird. Yeah, it really is. This is him. He's just a baby dragon. He's just a dragon. Huh. Hi, buddy. Oh, God, the way he looks at me. May a love like this in human form find me. How is he? He's angry. He wants to go outside. He doesn't understand that we are still in the same home, yet it's completely different outside. He's irritable, stir crazy, yells at me a lot now. Yes, Nikki. I haven't had breakfast yet. Sorry, guys. Yes, he looks like my son. He looks like if I were a cat and I gave birth to another cat, yeah, he's 1000%. I got these, they're like these date, superfood bar thingies. They're really yummy. They taste like chocolate. So he does love me. I feel really blessed. He's so good to me, except waking me up at 4 a.m. for breakfast. Didn't like that. But I just rolled with it. The energy, yeah, honestly, this full moon was, I don't know, like for me, at least my experience with the full moon was like, it was like a crescendo for sure. It was like everything was building up, and then like after that release point, it was like I can breathe. And I like really feel like everything, because all my change has happened the last 2 weeks. It really was like that new moon that we had in Cancer really like was the trajectory, and just like then everything changed for me. Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Wakes up at breakfast for him, even though she's had an auto. Oh my gosh, I wish I could do an auto feeder with him, but he gets special cat food from our local butcher, so I can't put that in an auto feeder. So I'm the auto feeder. What kind of ramen were you having, Nikki? And welcome to my YouTube folks. I see you all. I see you. And all my TikTok people, thank you for liking and sharing. Yeah, I had a feeling like post full moon, like slower engagement. And I personally yeah, I felt this call the last couple days to like not be posting readings either. Just like I'm like, things are shifting internally, and so as somebody who engages with collective energy, I'm like, if I'm going through a change, I know everybody going through a change, I gotta like figure this out for me first and foremost, for sure. Welcome, Volt. So yeah, we've got some fun astrology that's happening. By fun, I mean it's just I'm ready for this eclipse portal. It really feels like the like stepping out one door into a new space. Like it really is that transitional phase. So for those of you who aren't aware, by the way, my newer folks, I feel like there might be some new faces in here if you're new. With my inner circle, which I have the little logo here, we're going to be doing an eclipse portal container. And so I tested this out. By testing it out, I ran one at the beginning of this year, and it was profound. That eclipse at the beginning of this year was like wild. That eclipse portal, lots of transformation, lots of like opening, and it's not to create any fear. Welcome. It's not to create any fear. It just really is a 2-week period of like, it's like you get all the assignments and then you digest it for the next 6 months. You get everything, that the substance that you're working on, and really big downloads and or circumstances or things changing, and it really is the next 6 months is the integration. And I can see for myself what happened the last eclipse portal, and what was tasked for me has been like this gestation process, and like this is a big shift for sure. Yeah. And having the like container, right, having somebody hold that, right, energy and like touching, because we all were off in our own adventures. It's like we all got like blasted off to these different spaces, but having a consistent container to touch into kind of like grounded us back into like reality a little bit, of like, oh yeah, here's the thing to think on, to chew on, to feel into. So I love it. So I've opened up the inner circle, so it's got open seats right now, and I will be closing the doors August 12th, and I'll be sending emails out about that. But I've been going slow with just getting my footing, and I've been lightening the pressure on myself to like have things out by a certain time. Like August 1st already happened, and should I have these emails? I'm like, girl, chill. Like the emails are going to be sent, they will be out, and and for those of you who are joining for the first time, what we're doing here, every Sunday I go live at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I sit here and I talk about the astrological forecast for the week ahead. If you can't stay for the full duration, we might be here an hour and a half, just depending on the flow. I re-upload this to YouTube, so you can listen and put me on in the background. I'll listen to what's going on. And additionally, if auditory processing is not your thing, which for me, it's not. I like reading more. I write a newsletter. It's called Letters from the 8th House, where I take everything that I share here and I put it in a neatly written format and I email it to you every Monday. So definitely sign up through where you can grab those links. I have some people on TikTok saying August 1st was haunted. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, it's August 1st. At least I blew cinnamon out my door. I loved your videos when you did the lick and stick. Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's now just like a part of my identity now. It just is, it's very convenient. Shaki, welcome. Hi. Yes, it's 11:11. Let's freaking go. Yeah, so it felt the feeling of like coming down from this full moon, just to kind of add some verbiage to it, is like there was a lot of electrical buildup, right? A lot of building of frequency, and now it's kind of like I mean literally yesterday morning I was like, I need to turn off every device in my house. I'm like, I'm so tapped with energy, I've just gotta like stop. Yeah, so phew, intense stuff. Now, coming upon the eclipse portal, we've got the North Node and South Node. They moved into Leo and Aquarius just last week. And it really is this like pivotal shift in collective direction and what we're going into. And I really like this eclipse portal because it's taking the substance that we started touching into at the beginning of this year. And to explain 2026, just for a cool like energetic recap, is 2026 is kind of what I've been coining as like a transitional year. It really is that like one foot in something new, one foot out, right? It really is that. And now that just made me think of the like, you put your you put your shake it all about hokey pokey. It's kind of been that a little bit where it's like right, which is so entertaining. But wow, it's we got somebody joining us over in Europe. Welcome. That's what it's all about. So, and the astrology that supports this transitional energy is the fact that all of our outer planets have moved into new signs. 2025 was kind of the start of that shift. We started seeing the like, oh, big things have to end. 2025 was a massive like ending year. Like it literally was like things are ending. Like this is like big patterns, big cycles, last 7-year cycles ending, closing. And then 2026 is kind of the start of that. And then with the nodes, so what we had happening at the beginning of this year, February, I'm like, I have it like written on my giant calendar. February 17th, we had a solar eclipse in Aquarius, right? So that started the shift, but the nodes were still in Virgo and Pisces, meaning we weren't fully out of the woods yet, but we got a taste of the next theme. Now, on the 3rd, right, March 3rd was a lunar eclipse in Virgo. March 3rd. And so that was like a bigger wrapping up. And so now we're moving into this next eclipse portal and we will be having a lunar. So what are they? Dude, I keep flipping them. A solar eclipse in Leo on the 12th. So again, and that one's going to be so interesting. I'm going to be filming a YouTube video to dive into this nodal story that we're closing up starting. So hi Amy. And then we're gonna have a lunar eclipse in Pisces. Okay, so again, this sort of integration between the Leo Aquarius themes and the Virgo Pisces themes, and then we'll be moving into 2027, which the nodes will be fully in their new signs and the eclipses will be happening in these new categories. So this is like this, like how to build a bridge, right? Virgo and Pisces, the North Node in Pisces, has been really allowing us to trust in something bigger than ourselves. And that's really the like doorway that we're all walking into this year. And then it's going to be unfolding into like, okay, how do I step into being a part of community? I'm going to take a bite of this and then we're going to talk about what's happening this week. Queen, I'm an Aquarius ascendant and 12th house Aquarius. Woo-wee! That is quite the configuration you have there. Happy birthday! Everybody on TikTok, say happy birthday to Shaki. Wow. My Leo queen. Yeah, today feels very different. Like, was anybody else very, like, angsty yesterday? I was very angsty. I was very irritable. Thank you all for the happy birthdays. Saturn retrograde doesn't feel angsty for me. It feels actually a lot more like supportive. But of course we all interpret and engage with the energy. Yes. Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird energy. Not angsty today. Angsty today. Yesterday was very zen. You got the flop happening. Okay. Yeah, it's like in the atmosphere. It's like there's sort of a latency between the collective that I connect with here, right? Of like, it's like a 3-day latency. Like some people will be feeling it one day and then it's just like this interesting thing. And right back at you, Shaki. I hope this solar return really, like, I want to invite you into just like sitting with, you know, celebrating you and what you've cultivated so much of within yourself and what you're moving through in life and what you desire moving forward. Yes, 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 yes. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to be diving into what's happening this week. And what's really, really cool about me, you guys, just let me toot my own horn. I don't really look at the transits until I'm sitting here with you guys. So you guys get to see the real like cultivation of me interpreting the astrology with all of you. So that's what we're going to be moving through. Also, I see, Soul, you said, yeah, showering. Yes, literally I took a shower last night and I was like, oh, I needed the cleansing in that regard. Like the thing about water, little psychic hygiene for you guys is that spirit and energy can't move over moving water. That's why you'll find like buildings being haunted because there's a lot of pipe work and like water moving, and spirits can't move over moving water. Yeah, so just a little awareness there. That's why water and like the idea of baptism, right? We can go down that lens and that pathway. So water is very cleansing, even like blessing your water, all that stuff, beautiful things. Okay. Smoke is different. Incense is different. Smoke is different. Water is, yeah, they all have their own different purpose. You could use all the different elements for cleansing, all different ways and utilizing all of them. Now, let's go ahead and dive into talking about this week. We're going to be talking about the week of August 3rd to August 9th, 2026. On Monday, August 3rd, Chiron is going to be stationing retrograde. Chiron just dipped into Taurus about a month ago and now is going to be retrograding and moving back into Aries. We'll talk a little bit deeper about that. On Thursday, August 6th, Venus enters Libra. Venus enters Libra. Interesting. The sun is trine Saturn retrograde. Hi, Ruben. And then Mercury exits his post shadow on the 6th. And then Sunday, August 9th, Mercury enters Leo. So there's a lot of like interesting textures coming up this week that's gearing us up for preparation for the eclipses. The following week, we've got a lot of transits happening from those recently shifted Venus and Mercury. So let's take a look here. Let me go ahead and get my screen set up. who's new to the live stream? I feel like there's a couple of newer faces here. We're going to jump over here. All right. Welcome. Thank you guys for liking and sharing the live as well. I appreciate you all so deeply, especially for those of you on TikTok. That's how my content gets out to other people who may enjoy this content. New, yay, welcome. Yeah, so I do this every Sunday. So definitely if you're not yet following or subscribing, that is a beautiful way to stay connected. But also I re-upload this to YouTube, both on 8th House Mercury and Astremia. And additionally, I have a newsletter. I write about all of this stuff as well. So I write this in a beautifully written format. You've been in here once before. Yes. Senior name. Hi, goddess. Okay. So we're looking at August 3rd, and we're going to be taking a peek at Chiron here. That is not the color I want. I like using this green color because it's very easy to see. So we've got Chiron here, not yet moving retrograde, and you'll see if a planet's retrograde in the platform I'm using if the text is red. So we're going to go ahead and shift this to hours, and we're going to go ahead and jump into the future on the 3rd, and we're watching to see when Chiron, boom, around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Chiron stations retrograde. So let's talk a little bit about Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. That is that mainstream pop astrology articulation of this asteroid. And the thing about Chiron, to understand him, we have to understand his mythos, his story, right? He is this centaur that rules over a group, or is like a medicine man for a tribe of centaurs. And the thing is, he heals everybody, but he's got a wound of his own that he doesn't have the capacity to heal. Thank you, goddess. I really feel like I'm deepening into like some deeper presence with my voice, hence the like taking a break from sharing videos. I feel like, yeah, I'm really done doing like performative speaking. And so this is me like fully relaxed here. So thanks for acknowledging that. So with the story of Chiron here, with understanding Chiron, there is this edge that comes up with the collective when Chiron shifts into new signs. Chiron recently shifted into Taurus and is inviting in a deeper look at what we value, what is worthwhile, what we covet. It really brings in, if you're familiar with tarot, it really brings in the conversation piece around pentacles, and it brings in the material goods, like what we relate to and how we value ourselves in reciprocity. And usually that relates to money, right? Relates to how we get our needs met at a financial level and making sure that we have our goods. And so Chiron moving retrograde. So let me name the piece of Chiron and Taurus a little bit deeper so we understand this assignment that is coming, and this opportunity that is coming with Chiron and Taurus is, it's really having us see where we still have pain points around how we value ourselves, what our standards are for ourselves in such a deep, deep way. Thank you. Well, depending on your moon sign and what degree it's at, right now Chiron's only at 0 degrees of Taurus. So until Chiron meets your moon at an exact degree, it's not going to be as potent, but you'll start feeling the themes come up, especially if your moon's in Taurus. A lot of your emotional needs are very connected to how you feel secure. And if security is not there, you need to reevaluate what you covet, what is important to you, what you value. How do you value yourself and your emotions, right? And that is a deeper conversation of looking at your relationship with your mother and how you got your needs met. Now, with Chiron stationing retrograde, and this is going to be a bigger piece because Chiron's going to be moving retrograde and is actually going to be moving back into Aries. So wrapping up these Aries themes. So as Chiron goes retrograde at this 0 degree point of Taurus, it's like we got this really fresh look at like, oh, scarcity, right? This story around how you relate to money and the frequency of money. And I am a lover of money because I am a Taurus sun, and it's because I understand the deeper meaning of money and that it is an energetic exchange. And when you get to a certain level of knowledge of how energy works, you're able to witness and observe how to open that channel more deeply. If you want to know more, read Happy Pocket Full of Money. He talks about the quantum physics of money. So, really good book. Now, this retrograde is bringing in a deeper invitation. It's really allowing us to look in at self. How do I potentially put myself in circumstances where my value, what I my perceived value, and I literally saw like a price tag, like what you price yourself at, because you think that that's what you're worth, but also you have this internal battle that's like, no, I'm worth more. I'm worth more. So this retrograde at the 0 degree point is starting that sort of sanding down of meeting those edges for you on an internal level of what stories still reside within your physical body too, right? Taurus rules the body, how you relate to the body, where you're holding resistance to receiving more. Okay. And then Chiron's going to be retrograde until January 6th, 2027. But September 17th, we'll talk about this in September, but Chiron's going to go back into Aries. Chiron's going to go back into Aries. And really, those last degrees of Aries, it's going to be going all the way back to 26 degrees of Aries. So if you have anything at 29 to 26 degrees of Aries, those are going to be reactivated in a way that's really allowing you to look at, and as we're really moving into the collective energy, because that's what I name here, is the collective energy that we've all been moving through with Chiron and Aries since 2019 has been, who am I? Who even am I? We've all been doing this like masquerading thing. Like we see people online, we're like, wow, they're really cool. They know who they are. And they're behind the scenes, behind their phone, behind the camera going, I don't even know, like, who even am I? So we're all in that collective piece. And so with Chiron retrograding back into Aries, it's really like bringing in this final thread of like selfhood, reevaluating these past pieces of, it's removing false identity threads that may still be lingering, and or how you've related to people. And it's interesting, the sort of energy that's coming up, and I'm going to pause before I deepen into that to just like give you guys a deeper framework of how I move through astrology. It's very different. I'm an evolutionary astrologer and also a gifted, intuitive person. I'm like psychic, mystic, whatever label you want to slap on me. I'm just in touch. The astrology and how I perceive things, it moves through that channel. And so what I'm seeing with Chiron moving retrograde back into Aries, which again is going to be September 17th, is noticing where there is still false identities attached to you. And with Saturn retrograde too, this is really supportive of this energy. And Neptune retrograde, it really is this like, I've got to rid myself of anything that is not mine anymore. And it's sort of this idea of like seeing where the wounds have been inflicted. This retrograde is seeing where maybe it's now self-harm for you to be in a certain expression of self. I was deep in the channel. I'm checking the chat. That makes sense. And checking in with my Twitch and YouTube community who are watching. I see you guys. I love you guys. Hi. I have multiple chats open. I'm streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, just so everybody's aware. Started a pole class aware of my body in a good way. Yes. And like the power that your body can wield. It's such a beautiful tool. And when we're deeply honest, our body is one of our greatest tools from God, because we can take unconditional love that is always present and ever effervescent and actually make it into form through art, through saying I love you to somebody, to holding somebody, to dancing, to whatever that is, right? That is the gift of the body, of like being in a body, is we get to make love tangible and allow spirit to be brought into form and be touched and witnessed through self-expression. Yum. Yum. I really appreciate all of you guys hanging out here with me. This sort of newfound energy that feels really present. It feels really good to be settled into this energy with you all. Yeah, I've gathered and implemented great boundaries, and it still hurts my heart that others find it offensive constantly. Yeah, and ultimately when we realize, like, people are going to perceive things how they perceive it, and I'm in a very similar spot as you, Greta, in that sort of regard. And it's like, as much as I could try to soften the edges and make it palatable for the person receiving the boundary, it's not my work. And some people are just at different places, and that's okay too. And that there are people, environments, spaces that actually want to receive you and your boundaries and respect and honor those. Yeah. Recovering from chronic illness. Yeah. Reconnecting with my body has been hard and transformative. Yes. Livia said, I'm getting to know my own sense of internal home and safety again, and so much more of a somatic and tangible way. And boy, it's empowering. Yes. Why does it hurt most? Because we're sensitive people, and we see and we feel. And my permission slip for you, Greta, is like, you don't have to take on the pain of their experience of the boundary. And maybe even a deeper thread is like, what part of you is still connected to that, as far as like feeling the pain, right? I put my comments, but they're up there. Hi, Rebecca. I find that balance in that, and not perfection and idealism. Yeah. So Chiron retrograde, right? This is going to be that deeper like descent into integrating the physical piece, understanding those edges, because Chiron's going to be, it's going to move direct in Aries in 2027, and then shift back into Taurus, and we'll be in Taurus for a good chunk of time. So there's going to be those collective themes. And on my newsletter, I wrote more deeply about Chiron and Taurus. You can search it up on my Substack if you feel that desire to read my interpretations of it. Just so I'm not like a broken record here repeating all those things, but it's really a subtle slowdown and a subtle like shifting down, stepping down. It feels like shifting into a lower gear, so we can see and hear and witness what is needed and what is needed to be released for us to be able to move at not a quicker pace, but like something that is more in alignment with what we do feel in our soul. But we have to like take those subtle pauses. And yeah, the Saturn retrograde is very a part of this, and same with Neptune retrograde. Like this is very much a part of the energy. All this soon to be Chiron and Aries energy, all this like Aries retrograde energy is going to be really like, whoa, it's like pulling the reins on the horse and being like, okay, who am I on this steed? What do I represent? What is this identity? What am I willing to fight for? What am I willing to share with the world, but at first I have to really look deeper within self. I'm gonna have a little coffee sip. Again, thank you guys for liking. I see you guys. Thanks for all the likes. I would love to go live maybe sometime this week if it feels resonant to do some live readings, card readings specifically. Just a little disclaimer, I don't ever do live natal chart readings because I know I have some clients in here who have had me read their charts and I go deep. It's not something that should be on public display, so I won't be doing live chart readings, but maybe live card readings. I'm feeling that yummy urge to do that, so we'll see. But I've been going real slow. So looking at the next transits, let's go ahead and shift this to day. And let's go ahead and look at Thursday. Pew, pew, pew. That sip was very satisfying. Yay. Hi, Jake. It was a good, I want more coffee. I mean, it's not even like coffee. What's my big three? I am a Taurus sun, Virgo rising, and an Aquarius moon. Very earth and air. I'm pretty well balanced actually, elementally. But I'm mostly fixed as far as modality. You're an Aquarius moon too? Yes. Aquarius moon gang, rise up. What feelings? We're just a computer. We just process them like a computer. Okay. Now, wow. Okay. Venus enters Libra on Thursday, August 6th. Okay. She's kind of blazing ahead of everything. Oh, we've got a lot of Aquarius moons here. Yay. So Venus shifting into Libra, let's talk about that for a moment. Venus is at home in Libra. Now, this is the masculine expression of Venus, whereas Taurus is that more feminine expression of Venus. So when we get Venus moving into Libra, I love this. This is beautiful energy. Libra desires balance, diplomacy, equal exchange, beauty. A lot of the rich imagery that's coming to my mind is like going to like a beautiful like art museum and just like the ambiance and the witnessing of dedication to an artistic craft. And Venus is our planet of love, giving and receiving. We can look at Aphrodite as that Greek counterpart. And this, when it relates to love, like this is kind of more of a beautiful time to actually have one-to-one connection, one-to-one relating conversations. There's a squirrel running around outside. It keeps distracting me. Venus and Aquarius, North Node as well. Beautiful. My Venus and Aquarius folks, y'all are lovely humans too. Is that a bug on you? No. Okay. You see a squirrel outside, by the way. Hi, Gabby. My boy. I think he's a Libra. He's so pretty. Like, how can he not be? And that is that Libra energy. So when we focus on Venus moving into Libra, this is inviting in more of a taste for balance, reciprocity, more desire to relate to people and connect. My Libra folks, y'all know how to talk. I'm jealous. I mean, I am sitting here talking to you guys, but there is something that is so inherently sociable. Sociable? Is that a word? That is more socially acceptable with your guys' energy, where there is this you understand the, like, and have, it's like you guys speak in symphony is what it feels like. Like, you know how to say the sweet things. I'm a Mercury in Aries, which is, I'm a little blunt with my communication. Bless people that are close to me. I appreciate you for receiving said bluntness. I'm like, what else do I want to? I'm just like, I'm like simmering in this Venus and Libra energy. It just feels really delicious in the sense of this is a time to connect with people. That's going to be the greater invitation with Venus and Libra is conversations. Depending on where Libra is within your own natal chart, of course, that's going to add a different feel, but at a collective level, sharing your feelings, talking about them, inviting in more curious conversation, inviting in more romance, a bit more play, a bit more focus and emphasis on partnership. Yeah. And when I say partnership, this doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but there is an invitation of like romance moving a bit more easier here as far as like connecting to people, feeling more supportive to share, and good music, good social environments. Like, this is a beautiful time to like, I'm seeing like farmers markets, going to concerts, like gatherings, and more closely knit community containers too. Yeah, ballads for okay, your username's Atticus. So I do professional readings for anybody who is interested. If you desire a natal chart reading from me, it's going to be on my website, which is astramia.me. I can type that here as well for anybody who's interested. I had my caps locks on, so bless. But yeah, I have 4 readings open for August. I do 10 readings a month, so I have 4 spots left for anybody who's interested in booking with me. I would love the honor to dive into your natal chart. You meet with me one-on-one, it's recorded, and I dive into who you are, what you came here to do, the growth, the soul evolution, and knowing yourself at a deeper level. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, and shout out to my friends in here who have gotten readings from me. Tessa, we talked about Chiron retrograde. We're just starting to talk about Venus entering Libra. So I think we're about like, I don't know, 15 minutes in. I don't know. Time is weird. Okay. Now, what else does this Venus in Libra want to share with you all? It's like, yeah, put yourself out there. I'm going to be so honest. This is a good time to like put yourself out there. Now, I'm going to say that's not an invitation for you guys to put yourself out there towards me. But other people, yes, I'm just sharing what is present in the astrology. So putting yourself out there in the like, going to events, going and socializing, trying. This is a beautiful time to try new artistic adventures, those kinds of things. Amber, hello, welcome. I have a spider bite on my back. Okay. And yeah, very much like karaoke for sure. Yeah. Well, I just have to have very clear boundaries, goddess. Like, I really just have to have clear boundaries with my energy. I know it can feel very, very inviting to people, and that is just me being a kind person. Please do not mistake my kindness as flirtation. I'm just a kind person. But this is like, please, like, for, I really see like, go to the events, go meet people, go mingle. This Venus in Libra is very supportive of that. Okay, whatever you do there. All right. You went to Tomorrow, Indie Music, back into my life. We had Tomorrowland last weekend events, Belgium. I want to go to, that is such a sync for me. I want to go to Tomorrowland so bad. I want to see the Symphony of Unity so bad. So bad. So bad. It's on my bucket list. Hello. Okay. Now, additionally, there's a couple other things happening on this Thursday. We have the sun at 14 degrees of Leo, making a trine to Saturn, retrograde in Aries. Okay. You saw the Symphony of Unity. Oh, my heart. You just knowing that you got to experience that. I'm just like, basking in the like parasocial experience of that I feel I've been there. I've been there with you. That like when I've watched the lives, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the crowd with everybody. It's one of those things. Yes, this is still on August 6th. Still August 6th. Okay. So the sun trine Saturn is very, very beautiful. This is a very supportive edge because the sun represents our ego identity. The sun is at home in Leo right now. So there is this amplitude, especially after the Jupiter Cazimi that we had. There's this amplitude of like heart-centered energy that is like engulfed in flames. And this trine to Saturn retrograde is this very supportive piece of like, it really is like this, how to maintain the flame. How do we feed the flame that is our heart, our life force energy? What is sustainable? And with Saturn moving retrograde, like I talked about it last week, there is this deepening into what foundational pieces that I've been cultivating the last 6 months. What's really helping me, what's really beneficial. So this trine is like, what things that I've been doing within my routine, within my structure, within like building identity too, is beneficial for me. It's sort of this idea of like, you've cultivated a flame, it's been ignited, but to tend to the hearth of your life, it takes consistent energy. And this is where this trine is really supporting you, looking at like, it's like an honest, like truthful invitation to look at like, yeah, what really does fuel my fire? And there's going to be, with this being a trine, it really is like the supportive edge of like really seeing what is true to you and your frequency. Depending where Leo is at within your chart, of course, like where is Leo in your chart? For those of you, again, I like to share these things. On my newsletter, I go deep into how this is affecting you personally based off of your rising sign. So definitely subscribe there. So like, what else wants to come through here? Now I have the Symphony of Unity live set in my head right now. Oh, that matters. Okay. I'm just taking time to feel into this. This might be creating stronger boundaries around your identity too, where it's like, oh, actually, the expansion that happened with the Jupiter Cazimi was like, whoa, that's a lot. I need to take it a step back. Like I need to like actually, only so much gets access to this flame that I've been cultivating. Like it's almost like recognizing that in order to create something long-term and more for the future, North Node in Aquarius, it's going to take me reprioritizing my energy. That's what this trine is talking about, is a reprioritization of your ego identity and like where you want to shine your light. And it's It's giving, what is it? It's like the Seven of Swords, where it's like, is it, what tarot card am I thinking of? I'm seeing in my mind's eye. Is it that? Yeah, where you already have these 5 swords in your hands and you're looking back at these 2 other swords. And let me just pull up the image for you guys. The Seven of Swords, right? He's oh wow, I'm gonna have to really zoom out there. There you go. He's looking back at these 2 other swords and it's like, do you need these, right? You already have your hands full with other things. Like, you don't need those. So can we cultivate and look at what we already have and realize, well, maybe I don't want this sword. Maybe I do want to trade it for this one. Maybe right. And I know a lot of people will look at the Seven of Swords with a sneaky eye, and that's sort of, I'm not looking at it in a deceptive way. I'm looking at it in like, you don't need those things. That's your ego. That's the more manipulative energy of Leo, where it's like, I want all the things for me. I want it all for me. And Saturn retrograde in Aries is like, your hands are fucking full, dude. Like, and that's where, this is where my perception of interpreting astrology, interpreting tarot is a bit more evolved, in the sense that I'm not really talking to a collective of people that are going to be sneaking around, like, or doing things that are like deceptive. Of course, we do have deceptive nature in us. We're human, right? There is that, like, it's a kill or be killed, realistically. Kind of primal nature. We have that within us, but there is this, the reason I speak to it in this way is to give you guys a different opportunity to look at things differently, because I can name the more intense aspects of this trine, which could be like, oh, actually, like, I'm going to overload myself and like, I'm going to follow this ego South Node in Aquarius, or a South Node in Leo energy, and go into this, like, I want all eyes on me. I want all the attention on me. I want everything. I need it all. I need all this energy. And Saturn's like, you can't sustain that. That's not sustainable. So this is a really supportive, with it being a trine, it's more that supportive look at it. Now, additionally, Mercury exits his post-shadow period. What does that mean? Mercury went retrograde. I'm like, what were the exact dates? When did Mercury go retrograde? How is it? I don't even know what fucking day it is anymore at this point. Mercury went retrograde on, hello? Oh yeah, it was like the whole month of July, huh? Mercury went retrograde on the full moon in Capricorn, yeah. So went retrograde on June 29th, then went direct on July 23rd. And so there's this period that happens, is like, now Mercury is out of the clear. So we're sort of getting to this space of realizing throughout this week, it's kind of the final dredges until we meet this Thursday. This Thursday is going to be like, oh, that is why I went through the emotional chaotic storm that was Mercury retrograde, and had to purge all these things. I had to release all these things. I had to lighten the load. I had to look at those 2 swords and go, yeah, no, I'm good. Mercury exits his post shadow. And so by the 6th, we're in the clear. We're going to be in new mental terrain. We're going to be in a new atmosphere when it comes to how we relate to our emotions. This is a space where Mercury is yet to tap into in the last month and a half, essentially. So with that being said, this is going to be kind of that break free moment of like feeling the load lighten. And I love it because with Venus moving into Libra, with this supportive trine to Saturn, it's kind of this like, oh yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I knew that it would. So good. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe. Then even more beautiful is on the 9th, which, by the way, I'm going to talk a little bit about. We have the Lionsgate portal that everybody will be yapping about. It's not astrology related by any means. It's just a numeric date that everybody gets really excited about, which like is fair. Something that I do on the Lionsgate portal is I always take one of my journals and I dedicate a whole page to it, and I really write into existence what I want the next year to look like. So a little invitation for people. So possible reconnection, recommunication could be possible. Sure, anything's possible. It would be more supportive after the post shadow period, but let people show you what they've learned. With the Lionsgate portal 8/8, right? This is where the star Sirius and the sun meet. And so this within the constellation of Leo, right? Am I correct with that? I'm totally channeling that shit. Right? Isn't that what happens? Yeah. Leo in the star Sirius. Yeah, that's what's happening. So it is somewhat astrological. I was like, is this? So with that, it really is this like opening of downloads that can happen. So, I mean, like I said, I personally just like write what I'm calling in, and it's like I'm trying to see what journal I have. I could grab an old journal and show you guys. Oh, thanks for the follow. Let's go. I get real. I love my this is like a journal from forever ago, but I do a whole like spread and I write all this stuff of what I want, and then I look back a year and usually it comes true. So how'd you get to do it? So that is through Twitch. I have Twitch alerts set up. Hello, sap. Yeah. Yeah, the way I've got the live stream set up is, yeah, it's different. We're adjusting things. So on the 8th, just invitation to write to your heart's content, and let what comes through comes through. There's nothing you really need to do then. People are like, it's the most important day for manifesting your reality. It can be whatever you want it to be. That could be today if you wanted it to be. Intention. All right. Now, jumping forward on the 9th, Mercury moves into Leo. Whee! Yes. Yes. Shout out to my Gemini and Virgo risings. It's time. Well, maybe for the Gemini risings, Virgo risings, Mercury's moving into your 12th house. So I don't know. We'll be in that together. Again, thank you guys for liking and sharing the live. I see you. Thank you. I need to water my plants. That was a total random sidebar. Got so distracted. Interesting. I don't know who's just joined the field, but like different energies shown up. So, okay. I gotta take a moment. Yeah, water them. Gonna water them. So, Mercury enters Leo. This. What does that mean? Our communication is entering into a new terrain, a new realm, especially after this time of having Mercury in Cancer for almost like a month and a half. I was drowning. I'm so done with the Mercury and Cancer energy, ready for it to be over, stoked for this energy. Mercury entering Leo really brings in this flair for conversation. It brings in a heightened expressive energy, using your voice to cultivate an audience, to cultivate and garner attention. RIP Mercury in Cancer. Sorry. But it really is such a beautiful way of, wow, I keep getting distracted. Wow. And that might be this Mercury energy. It's just going to be distracting. Ooh, shiny things. Ooh, this thing. Ooh, that thing, right? Where it's like conversations can be that way. But really, the thing to note with Mercury moving into Leo is that, especially paired with Venus and in Libra, is like you can really cultivate conversations in a very powerful way. Meaning like your words have sway at this time. So watching and just noticing, like in the collective field too, is like a lot more people. I really feel like a lot of people are going to be on their high horse at this time. Especially August is about to be very interesting to watch when it comes to just the collective energy with the eclipse portal that we're about to be entering into. So Mercury is just adding fuel with the it's fire. Yeah. And speaking of community, I have a Discord community for anybody who is interested. We do a lot of things. We have a bunch of different clubs that are happening. So if you're looking for a community space and feeling that desire to connect with like-minded people, come join. And the deeper aspect of that, within that, I have a deeper container for people that are desiring to work with me and in a group container, which is called the Inner Circle. So we're going to be doing that eclipse portal deepening, which I'll talk about in a bit. I really want to wrap up talking about this Mercury in Leo, because it's kind of like adding gasoline to the fire, which is very interesting. It's going to be very interesting because Jupiter in Leo, Sun in Leo, and South Node in Leo. So just mind, I'm going to say mind your business. Like just mind your own business if you can. There's going to be a lot of heightened conversations that's going to be happening at this time. Now, this isn't to say like silence yourself or shut your voice down in any way, but this is really your words have power. Your words have power here. Yeah. Watch what you consume at this time too. Observe. Yeah, this is very interesting. Observe the like a moth to a flame kind of thing. Like, what light are you attracted to at this time? Especially because Mercury is how we receive information. It's how we process it. And so notice where like people are going to latch on to like certain figureheads or certain online personalities, right? Or certain trends, right? It can get into that. And there's sort of this invitation of like, what's your own light doing? Speak from your own light, not copy and pasting somebody else's authentic energy, right? Cultivate your own authenticity here. What is your light? What is your flame? And how can you cultivate that? Okay. And communicate that and talk about it and share it with people in spaces that really admire your light and want to receive you in your fullness. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's this week. Wow. Wowee. So quick recap again. On Monday, the 3rd, Chiron stations retrograde. It's going to be retrograde until January 2027. Thursday, August 6th is a jam-packed day where Venus is going to be entering Libra. The Sun is going to be trine Saturn retrograde. And then Mercury exits his post-shadow period. Then Sunday, August 9th, Mercury enters Leo. Wow. So with all that information, all of that, as we move into August, I'm going to be hosting this eclipse container. And for those of you who have just popped in and weren't here at the beginning when I was articulating this, essentially a eclipse portal is the 2 weeks that happen between a lunar and solar eclipse. It's a very intense period of time that we're all sort of handed like really dense information to like then chew up and digest over the next 6 months. It's nice to have a space to land during that time. It's like an initiation point is those 2 weeks, and having a sort of container or something to hold on to while you're going through it helped me. That's why I cultivate it. I'm like, there's no way that I'm participating in an eclipse without a container. And so I've cultivated that. I'm hosting it through my inner circle. So for those of you who are already in the inner circle, that's what we're going to be doing. I have more information I'm going to be sharing with that. But if you feel that desire to join the inner circle and have access to that space, we'll be doing that. We'll meet on the lunar eclipse and then the solar eclipse, and then between those 2 weeks, through our container, I'm going to be inviting in deeper inquiry with day-to-day prompts and guidance. Yeah. And then everything that I shared here with this live stream, I'm going to be writing about that in my newsletter. So definitely subscribe there. But now's the time for questions. I like to invite in very intentional questions, not a what does this mean, but like this is something I'm moving through. I would love insight or astrological perspective on that. So have some time, maybe like 15 minutes or so to dive into questions. Mercury, Jupiter, Neptune, and Sagittarius. Nice. You have a net balance of $389. I don't know what you mean by that. Thank you, goddess. I don't know what that means. You're gonna have to ask something more specific. Oh, you're positive. Okay, cool. Yes, Shaki, happy birthday. Shakira, you are so sweet, and it's always an honor to have you in here. For your astrological birth chart, I still have no idea what you mean by that. Yeah. Yes, big hugs. Yes, sweet. Thank you guys. You know, I'm going to be so honest with videos that I upload. I am deep in a channel, and so I don't remember it. And for YouTube, sometimes YouTube videos that I upload, they are older videos that I've shared on TikTok days prior. I keep feeling a push to share my art and self online, but also constant blockers. Curious if there's an astrological component to that. Yeah, with your Aquarius rising Leo sun, yeah, absolutely. With the North and South node, aren't we? No, I'm meeting with somebody else for the eclipse interpretation on their chart. I thought it was you for whatever reason, Amy, but just like a brief understanding of that is, yeah, the North node is really, there's a deeper authenticity with your identity that wants to be birthed before your art can be shared online. So you can experiment. It's sort of the energy that I would invite you into, is just experimenting. Had a natal chart, but I've been considering. Would a node read work on its own? So I have a eclipse reading offering where it's just like where I focus on the next year and a half and how things are going to be moving based off of the nodal patterns. So it's a little bit different. I usually suggest people get like a full natal chart reading from me first to anchor that in. But if you know astrology, you might not need that. I do read natal charts a little bit differently, ultimately. But it just depends on what you feel you're needing right now. Oh, yeah. The North Node is going to be, as somebody who is gone through some nodal stuff on the 1st and 7th house axis, yeah, it's going to be a stripping of your identity and like how you've moved through relationships. And it really is, deciding which I want to do for a treat. Well, we can always bring in the like nodal conversation in that too. I can keep that in mind for your reading, or you can put it in the intake form as well. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stripping of who you thought you were. And that always relates to your art. What does Lilith mean on Aquarius ascendant in the first house? Anything that is in the first house, if that isn't hitting the nail on the head, my identity is soup. Yeah, you're like in the caterpillar goo. Awesome guitar dad, welcome. I'm so glad it resonated. We're just wrapping up this live stream. We were just talking about the astro forecast for the week ahead. Do I read degrees when I read charts? Sometimes. It depends if there is a desire to. It's very spirit led. Can go into the Sabian symbols of the degrees within that. Right. Lilith on the Aquarius ascendant. Anything that's on the ascendant is going to add an extra filter to your lens on life, your perception of life. And with Lilith there can be a mistrust of the world. Deep mistrust of the world because your identity has been interesting. The word that comes through is like castrated, and I know Lilith is a feminine, so it just would feel like what would be a appropriate word that I can use in an online platform? Taken advantage of, right? It almost feels like the world is not safe for you to be in. It feels like it takes advantage of your identity. So there's this sort of like extra protection with Lilith there too, until you actually reclaim and set your Lilith free, which would be like, I am different and I don't fit in, and I'm going to allow that to be my superpower. It's going to feel like the world is your enemy. It's really you versus you, my love. I have a business meeting with a Sag and my North Node is in Sag. Should I look out for higher emotions for me? Sag Sun with your North Node in Sag, they're just going to trigger what you desire to be, who they are. A Sagittarius Sun sort of trigger that for you in the sense that there's a part of you that is working towards that deeper, grounded identity within your beliefs. And so this person, it's not emotional. It's more, what can I witness in this interview that evokes the person I want to be? My favorite thing, as somebody who's worked in hiring and I have a vast background in experience and who has interviewed and hired people, the secret sauce to interviews is ask the interviewer questions. Or you have a business meeting, but it's a business meeting. So it's like, ask real questions and ask what they believe in. Where do they stand? Like, what are their beliefs? Inquire. Leo in 7th with this nodal shift, very similar to what I was sharing already with Amy. It's very applicable for you as well, meaning the North Node's going to be going over your ascendant, meaning your entire personality is going to be getting an upgrade. Thank you. That's how I feel. He's a friend, but creating ideas. Yeah. He's going to invoke in that like sort of energy of like, wow, especially if it's within the same degree as your North Node. Yeah. That's going to be a beautiful invitation. All right. Any other questions? This has been beautiful. I really, really appreciate you guys. I feel like the texture of this live stream has been completely different than any of my live streams before. And I really equate it to your guys' presence as well too, right? What you guys are adding into this collective field. You never catch you live. Yay! It's church. I forgot. No, you forgot church. No, just kidding. I go live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's 12 Mountain, 1 Central, and then 2 Eastern. Yeah. And by the way, Greta, Amy is in the Discord community too, so y'all can connect there too. And anybody else who's feeling that desire and pull for a community, you guys can go to my website and I'll show you guys here how to do this. I like to show you guys. So when we jump over here, when you click the link in my bio over on TikTok, at least, this is what shows up. So sign up to my newsletter first and foremost. You get an email from me every Monday for the astro forecast for the week ahead, and same with new and full moons. If you feel that desire to join the inner circle, that's where I'm going to be hosting this eclipse portal container. And then just for that free tier of community space, like my Discord community at the base level is like an open community space. Of course, I always invite people who are sovereign, who have autonomy over their emotions. This is a bunch of adults who take radical responsibility for themselves and their participation in a community container. So with all that being said, you can click this image right here and it's going to lead you to our Discord. So if you haven't created a Discord, you can easily download the app or the platform on your computer. I use it both on my phone, and I have a full tutorial on how to use Discord when you guys join, because it's a new platform for some of you guys. And then check out this, guys, by the way. This is on Astremia. And then this is my other account. I got so many things. I do a lot of stuff. And then all my offerings are here. Or you can click this tab that says offerings, and then I will be updating the monthly events so you guys know what's going on in the community. Yippee! Adults only. Yeah. Yep. As somebody who has a background in working with children, I'm very protective of making sure that community spaces that are full of adults are only adults. And that is, yeah. You don't have a Discord, you just you download the app. Very easy. Yes, I'm same username in Discord. Feel free to at me. Yeah. Yes. This has been so yummy. Thank you guys. And I feel like it's been a whole different group of people. My normal crew has disappeared. Yeah, actually, like I'll let me I'll show you guys a little bit of like how to use Discord's stuff. Let me jump into this. Yeah, so it's super cool. We're gonna hide members. Yeah, I have upgraded. Oh, hold on. I forgot it won't show me the Discord because I have it's set to hide it right now. So maybe I won't. I'm gonna take that as a sign. If you feel the call to join, you'll join. If not, you won't. Yeah, I'm ready for new collectives. I'm ready for the Discord is so fun to catch you all. Yeah. Yay. Okay, thank you guys so much. Thank you for keeping children in mind. I have 4 children. Yeah, I was literally talking to my landlord's dad about that yesterday, of like my deep desire of like helping adults understand internet safety for their children, because it's not I could go on a whole rampage about that as somebody who's literally like worked in technology with kids. I used to teach video game design and like esports, and like the access that kids have to stuff, it's just parents have to set boundaries. They've got to, right? And you know, I say that because I was a child groomed on the internet. And woof, that's a whole thing. So yeah, full body chills. Like it's a big part of my deeper mission that I feel called to do here. So we're gonna, yeah, it's really intense. Big conversational piece there, and I would love to. Yeah, there's a lot of movement that I feel called to do within that space as well. Create some sort of understanding and sharing. I got a lot that I'm here to do in this life, and one step at a time, which leads me to say keep an eye out on everything I'm doing. Lots of things are changing. Things are changing, changes in the air. I'm ready for this eclipse portal to like wash free that like final layer that I feel we all have. It's like this little gritty film and just like set us free as like newborn babes. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm big protective mama energy, and that's how I treat my community space as well, where like I'm very clear. No, yeah, children shouldn't be on Discord. God damn it. Yeah. And they now have different permissions on there too, which makes me happy. But I energetically am the container that holds my community space. And so I'm very aware of people's energy signature, and I am happy to remove people that are not of the highest integrity, meaning that are not kind, right? Thank you guys. 2020 on the time when you said that. Yeah, I love protecting kids. Joan of Arc energy. Oh, full body chills with that. Thank you for that confirmation. Hi. Yeah. But also, I met a lot of my best friends online. So, you know, and people that have like made a massive impact in my life have been online people. So it's a dual-edged sword, right? So we have to you know, be aware of that. So if you did apply for the Discord, I have to go through the applications and accept people. And yes, I am the person who is sitting actively behind the computer and accepting each one of you into the space. Thank you all for showing up today. And like, this was a lot longer. I'm going to go, start writing the newsletter. I'm going to put some headphones on. I might be chilling in the co-working channel in the Discord, doing some work potentially. Yeah, love you guys. I'll be live next week, same time on Sunday. And additionally, I might go live at another time to do live readings. If people, will this be posted on YouTube? Yes. Yes, Ray. As always, it's going to be on YouTube. It'll be there. And then in my newsletter. I love you all so much. Let me get some yummy outro music for you all, and we will catch each other next week or in videos. I love you guys. Bye. See ya.